All right, so good morning, everybody. My name is Aaron Hamilton. I'm one of the admission counselors from West Texas A&M University. I am originally from Colorado. I grew up in a little town called Thatcher. It was about an hour and a half away from the high school that I went to that was in Branson, Colorado. At the high school that I went to, there were 27 of us, pre-K through high school, and I had a graduating class of 2. I was valedictorian, so it was an interesting experience there. Ended up going to a junior college in Colorado, and then transferred to West Texas A&M to go after environmental science. I had even started looking at environmental science back when I was still in high school. Ended up realizing whenever I was in the program that it was not what I wanted to do the rest of my life. And I also realized I was really bad at math. So I switched my major and ended up graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Agricultural Media and Communications. Since then, I worked at a junior college for a little bit back in Colorado, and when I got the opportunity, I came back to WT, and I've been one of our admission counselors almost 2 years. In February, it'll be 2 years for me. And I am also in grad school as well. So I'm going to get my master's in communications with an emphasis in crisis communication and public relations. So I've been at WT almost 6 years, going on 7 years now, so I like what we have. So hopefully you'll get to learn a little bit about everything that we've got. For those of y'all that don't know, WT is right outside of Amarillo in Canyon, Texas. So it's about an hour away from here. If you're running extremely late like I was yesterday, you can make it here in about 45 minutes, and that's in a government vehicle, so very little speeding. But it's not too far away. It's at least far enough away that mom and dad aren't going to be at your doorstep every day, so it kind of gets you out of the house in that respect. And it's a pretty big campus in a small town, which is really nice as well. Whenever you're looking at us as an institution, we were founded back in 1910. When we were originally founded, we were founded as a teacher's institution. So we were one of the only places in the Panhandle for people to go and get their education to become education in the area. So teaching at the elementary, high school level in the area. So we've been around for quite a while. When we were originally founded, we had about 150 people that were on campus. Since then, we've grown quite a bit. We're just over about 10,169 now. But in that entire time, we've grown the entire way. So back in 1963, we became an actual university, and then in 1990, we were incorporated into the Texas A&M school system. So for those of y'all that know Texas A&M, their color is also maroon. But we've been maroon and white ever since we were founded back in 1910. So we've kept that for ourselves as well. When it comes to our mascot is the buffalo. You'll get to see quite a few pictures of both the living mascot as well as a lot of the statues that we have on campus throughout this presentation as well. Some of the big awards that we've been notable for this year especially has been labeled as the safest college campus in the state of Texas and one of the top 10 safest in the United States. And we also have one of the top 2 nursing programs in the state of Texas as well. The past couple of years, we've had a couple of our alumni of our education program back in 2018 and 2015 that went on to become National Teacher of the Year recipients. So that's a nationwide honor that they were able to receive, and for an institution to have one of those is amazing. For an institution to have 2 of those is outstanding. So it's a pretty big thing for WT that we've had 2 of our alumni go on and receive those accolades. When it comes to us being in the classroom, it's about a 22-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. So that means about 22 students per 1 faculty member that's on campus, with the average class size being about 28. The reason those 2 numbers aren't exactly the same, some of our classes, like your entry-level English, entry-level biology and algebras, those are going to normally be taught in a larger lecture size. So that's going to be about 60 to 80 students, and then you have some of your classes that are going to be way smaller. So it makes it where that average is a little bit higher. Whenever you compare WT to some of the larger institutions that are out there, our largest class size is 60 to 80. There's some institutions that are out there that are anywhere between 300 to 400. So we're pretty small whenever it comes to overall class size as well, comparative to other institutions that are out there. There's 2 pieces of advice that I want to give y'all while I'm here today, that if you learn anything from WT being here, besides what we have to offer, are these 2 pieces of advice. The first piece is whenever it comes to going to college, and whether that be at a trade school, community college, 4-year, or any level in between, your diploma that you get is going to look really pretty on your wall. And your education is important, but it's probably not the most important thing about being in college. In reality, as somebody who is a recent graduating back in 2018, what's going to be a lot more important is the network that you make while you're in college. And that network is going to have a lot more impact. And there's a lot of ways to build your network because those are what's going to lead to jobs. One of the ones that we have at WT is our study abroad program. The past couple of years, we've had trips that go to Australia. Our agriculture department takes a group of students down there every year to go learn about sheep and land maintenance down in Australia. It's pretty similar to here in the Panhandle, except we focus a lot more on cattle, they focus on sheep. Then we have our communications department that chooses a different location every year, and they actually go and take a group of students there as well. So the past couple of years, they've gone to South Africa. This past year, they were supposed to go to Japan. Unfortunately, due to COVID, they had to cancel that one. But whenever we're able to have those study abroad trips resume, they are planning on it. The other half of that's going to be doing your more traditional study abroad experience, where you go to a different location and you actually study there at a different institution for a semester and then come back to WT and get your degree there. So there's several different ways that you can do a study abroad experience. The other half of being involved is your internships. So a lot of our different majors at WT have an internship included. So before you can graduate, so for instance, my major in agricultural media and communications, one of the classes that I had was my internship. So I worked at a boutique photo company in Amarillo, where I learned a little bit about photography, a little bit about graphic design, but ultimately I learned that that's not what I wanted to go into as my major, or as my job after graduating from college. And that's really what it's for, is to help you learn and see what's out there. In a lot of cases, those can lead directly into jobs. That's what an internship is supposed to help you do, is you might start as an intern and move into an actual position. But it's a great way to be able to learn about the field that you're interested in and still have the university as a crutch behind you. And then there's your on-campus employment opportunities as well. And there's a lot of variety in those. So you can be a lifeguard if you've got your lifeguard experience. You can work in the gym. Any of the offices that we have on campus, almost all of them staff some type of student worker that is a position there as well. And then there's over 100 different student organizations that are on campus for students to be involved in. So these are just a couple of the different organizations that we have. In the top left-hand corner is Delta Zeta and ATO, which are our Greek life, and two of our Greek lives that we have on campus. In the middle is the Wesley, which is one of our religious affiliated organizations. The top right is the Herdsmen, with one of the previous Thunders that we've had, Thunder 11. So the Herdsmen are the ones that actually take care of our buffalo on campus. We've got a lot of pictures of Thunder 11. We're now on Thunder 13. Last year when she was at the game, she was about this tall. It was a pretty new buffalo for us. Thunder 12 was retired a little bit earlier, so we have a younger buffalo this time. Because Thunder 12 was a male, he got a little aggressive, and he liked to drag people. So going to a football game was like watching NASCAR. It could be really boring until it went wrong. And then it got really interesting. The three middle pictures are Hispanic Student Association, Spectrum, which is our LGBT alliance that's on campus, and then the Maroon Platoon, which is our student body that goes to all of our different football games and some of our other athletic events that are on campus and actually cheer on our team. And our different football games that we have, now that we're back on campus as far as having our stadium, the Maroon Platoon is directly behind the opposing team. And that's for two reasons. Number one, our head coach that we have was really tired of having all the commotion and noise behind him. And number two, he decided that it would be better behind the opponent because they make quite a bit of noise, so it can be a little bit intimidating. When it comes to us as an athletic institution, WT is a Division II institution, and we have been ranked the best Division II program in the state of Texas for 7 consecutive years, and one of the top Division II institutions in the nation for 9 out of the past 10. And the one year that we weren't was whenever we were ranked 11th. Through that, there's a lot of the different programs that we go through. It's football, baseball, basketball, softball, soccer, track and field, cross country, golf, and equestrian. So there's quite a bit that we compete with whenever it comes to our Division II athletics. So if you are interested in continuing that into college, you're more than able to. Depends on if you make the teams. If you don't make the teams, there's always a lot more involvement that you can do as well. And then as a student, you're able to gain admission to any of the different events that we have out there. Whenever it comes to being involved, if you are interested in being competitive, we've got our intramural sports. There's a lot more variety that happens in intramural sports comparative to the different things that we compete at the Division II level. Whenever it comes to your intramural sports, they can be anywhere from basketball, volleyball, tennis, tennis, through water polo, and then you also have events that are like human soccer or human foosball, where we actually set up like a foosball arena with hay bales, have rods, and actually have students play there as well. The other one that we've actually had a lot more, especially this year, has been with esports. So we have an intramural set of competition that happens with the esports, and we also have a competitive team that's looking at playing against other institutions as well. So these are definitely newer programs that we've developed out there. That's one of the nice things about WT is they're constantly growing, and there's a lot more that's being brought into WT as well. So when it does come to us being an institution and you getting your education, because that's why we go to college, is to get an education at any level. Whenever you're looking at getting your education, at WT we have 6 different colleges that are under the West Texas A&M umbrella. The WT handout that y'all have has all of the different colleges that we have, as well as the majors that are included in those colleges. So the white page up at the very top has the different colleges. The first one is our College of Agriculture and Natural Science. The second is our College of Business. The third is our College of Fine Arts and Humanities. We also have our College of Education and Social Sciences, our College of Engineering, and then lastly, our College of Nursing and Health Sciences. And those 6 colleges that we have, there's over 60 different undergraduate majors that we have as an institution, so there's a lot of variety found within our programs. So it depends on what you're wanting to do. We're going to have a lot of the different programs that you're possibly looking at. The only exceptions to those are going to be a lot of your trade schools. So if you're looking at becoming an auto or diesel mechanic, cosmetology, welding, those are normally going to be found at 2-year institutions, and that's just because that's what a lot of 2-year institutions specialize in. It's not necessarily something you have to get a 4-year degree for. Whenever it comes to our facilities that we have on campus, the ones on the board are just a couple of the different ones that we have. In the top left-hand corner is our engineering building. It's where our College of Engineering as well as the computer science program are housed out of. Right below it is our football stadium that we have on campus. The picture that we have is from last year's homecoming. The middle is Old Main, which is our first building that we had on campus. It's also home to our Education and Social Sciences on campus. And then the 2 right-hand pictures are our Agricultural Science Complex and our Sybil B. Harrington Fine Arts Complex. The Agricultural Science Complex that we have on campus is the newest building as of right now on campus. This next year, we'll have the Veterinary Education Research and Outreach Center that'll open, and that's going to be a collaboration between WT, Texas A&M, and Texas AgriLife for students that are looking at going into vet school. So you're able to actually stay at WT after getting your bachelor's for 2 years and go through the Bureau, or you're able to go down to Texas A&M's main campus and come back after a while. So it really depends on what you're willing to do as a student there. So whenever it comes to applying to college, every institution has their own set of requirements that they're going to look at to grant admission into their institution. At WT, we have a minimum of a 2.0 GPA to be considered for admission. This year, we're really going to be looking at your high school GPA and high school class rank over anything else, and then your ACT or SAT if you happen to have the tests. We understand that this year is a little bit different. Not every student has the equal opportunity to be able to take any of your standardized tests like ACT or SAT, so we're making a lot, not necessarily exceptions, but we're working with a lot of students on how to go ahead and get them best admitted into WT. When it comes to your scholarships, you're still going to want to turn in ACT or SAT, because that's what it'll actually be helpful for, is going to be getting scholarships at WT as well. Whenever it comes to applying to college in the state of Texas, the nice thing that y'all have is something known as Apply Texas. It's a Texas-based common app that makes it where if you're looking in the state, you can fill out one application and have it sent to multiple institutions that are public. We also have our application that's housed at wtamu.edu/apply, which is our own application housed on our website that you can apply through as well. Either are valid options, it just depends on what best fits you. Our application opens every year in September, so say you go on to a junior college and you look at transferring to WT down the road, our application will open September of every year, so you'll be able to go that route instead. It's just whatever works best for you as a student. You would want to submit your documents. Like I said, the only documents that we're really going to be looking at are a high school transcript and either ACT or SAT if you happen to have them. If you take any type of dual credit, you'll want to submit your college transcripts. We'll utilize that not necessarily for admissions. We'll more or less utilize that for your advising fees whenever it comes to actually getting your class scheduled. At WT, we don't want you to be in a class that you've already taken. That's kind of a waste of your money and your time. Whenever it comes to applying, you can always reach out to me. I am the admission counselor over at Plainview, or you can always call our office or check your portal that's online as well. It has all the documents that you'll be needing to get in, and it's updated to where you can see where your application's at and all as well. Whenever it comes to college, it can be expensive. So WT, your tuition that you're looking at is about $9,500 per year. That's for a 30 credit hour year. So that's 2 15 credit hour semesters. Plus room and board, you're looking at another $8,800 in room and board for a grand total per year being about $18,300. WT is one of the most affordable institutions that's in the state of Texas, and there's a lot of ways that we can go ahead and work with you on getting through college. One of our goals at WT is to make sure that our students graduate with little to no debt and graduate and go into a career. That's the ultimate goal of why you're going into college. So several of the things that we have to work with students are scholarships and financial aid. At WT, we offer more than $5.1 million in scholarships every year. The two different deadlines that we work off of are early action date, which is December 1st, and our priority application date, which is February 1st. If you apply by December 1st, and if you've applied to WT already, I would suggest getting your scholarship application done sooner. That way you can get your scholarship application done. Even if you haven't been accepted, that way you'll know kind of by February what you're looking at getting as far as your scholarships are concerned. If you apply by February 1st, if you are applicable for scholarships, you're guaranteed a scholarship. After February 1st, that guarantee goes away. So the sooner you work, the better it is, and that's at any institution that's out there. The other half of it's going to be financial aid. Whenever it comes to financial aid at WT, we have several different programs that will be able to go ahead and help you. You've got your regular FAFSA that'll have your Pell Grant. In the state of Texas, you also have the Texas Pell Grant, and that's going to be additional funding that you could qualify for and be able to utilize for your education as well. Then you also have something that at WT that we call the Buff Promise. The Buff Promise means that if your family makes less than $80,000 a year, WT will actually cover the rest of your tuition that your scholarships and financial aid don't cover. That's going to be able to go ahead and take down the overall amount that you're looking at paying by anywhere between $8,000 to $9,000. It makes it a lot more easier and affordable on you as a student. So, like I said earlier, there's two pieces of advice that I have. The first one is being involved in college, and the second one is visit colleges. Whenever you're looking at any institution, whether it be a technical school, two-year institution, or a four-year institution, one of the best ways to see what an institution is going to be like is by visiting. In a way, it's like shopping for clothes. You're not going to go shopping and buy a pair of pants without trying them on because you don't want to buy something that's not going to fit. And colleges, it's all about whatever is best for you as a student. Every institution is different. They're going to be able to cater to certain needs as a student over others. So by visiting institutions, you're able to see what that institution is going to be like, and ultimately you're going to be able to decide if it's the right place for you to go. At WT, our tours are open at 9:30 in the morning and 1:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. We are on campus this semester, so you're able to go ahead, come visit campus, see what WT is about, and learn a little bit more and see what campus life is like. Do y'all have any questions? No, it's a lot of information. Yes?
What's the number that we can reach you at?
So my office number, and I can go ahead and just give it if you want to write it down. My office number is going to be 806-651-2007. And so you can reach out to me. I'll be able to look, and I'll start, especially kind of like January, I'll start looking and seeing who all we've had apply from Plainview, and I'll start reaching out to y'all as well as Robin and the other counselors to see what we need to get as well. What's up? 806-651-2007, 2007. But I'll be able to reach out and I can get any of the documents that y'all need in. That way y'all can get your applications complete. We can get y'all an acceptance decision made. Any other questions? I'll pick them up here in just a second.